So, as many people probably are knowledgeable as of now, the conservative activist and commentator Charlie Kirk was shot in Utah. And unfortunately, according to President Trump on Truth Social, he has succumbed to his wounds. According to this story from Nexstar, I'm just going to read it to you as much of confirmation as anybody can get. Says, quote, conservative influencer Charlie Kirk is dead after being shot during an event in Utah, President Donald Trump has confirmed. And according to Truth Social and his post saying, quote, the great and even legendary Charlie Kirk is dead. No one understood or had the heart of the youth in the United States of America better than Charlie. He was loved and admired by all, especially me, and now he is no longer with us. Melania and my sympathies go out to his beautiful wife Erica, his family. Charlie, we love you. Kirk's spokesman also confirmed the activist's death to the New York Times. And now to the details. Kirk, 31, was speaking at Utah Valley University in Orem, about 40 miles south of Salt Lake City, during an event for the organization he co-founded, Turning Point. Videos posted to social media show Kirk speaking into a handheld microphone while sitting under a white tent emblazoned with the slogans, "The American Comeback" and "Prove Me Wrong." A single gunshot was fired shortly after noon Mountain Time, moments after Kirk was reportedly asked about gun rights and mass shootings. Videos online showed Kirk then reach for his neck with his right hand as he bled heavily. Another video posted to social media showed multiple people carrying Kirk to a vehicle. Stunned spectators could be heard gasping and screaming before people started to run away. The Associated Press was able to confirm the videos were taken at a Sorensen Center courtyard on the Utah Valley University campus where Kirk was speaking Wednesday. Kirk was said to be in critical condition at a hospital shortly before 1 p.m. Mountain Time. Kirk was speaking at a debate hosted by his nonprofit political organization immediately before the shooting. This is according to Nexstar reporting. Kirk was taking questions from an audience member about mass shootings and gun violence. Do you know how many transgender Americans have been mass shooters over the last 10 years? The audience member asked. Kirk responded, too many. The questioner then followed up by saying, do you know how many mass shooters there have been in America over the last 10 years? Counting or not counting gang violence, Kirk asked, and at that point, that's when the single shot ran out. Initially, the university said a suspect had been taken into custody, but a spokesperson has since said that person is not believed to be the shooter. A spokesperson with the Orem Fire Department confirmed to Nexstar's KTVX that was covering the event at that point in time that law enforcement is breaching a building on a UVU campus, describing this as an active shooter situation. That is as of the recording of this video. Orem Mayor David Young said the suspect in the shooting remains at large. Authorities are not telling people to shelter in place, however. Those in attendance told KTVX, the ABC4 affiliate in Utah, that while they had to get tickets to attend the event, they did not have to show those tickets on Wednesday. Some who had not gotten tickets ahead of time say they were able to attend the event. And you will pardon me if I am flubbering through some of this that just came through, and we're still in the midst of being told information and of course digesting what has taken place here. Kirk was speaking at a debate hosted by his nonprofit political organization and, according to witnesses, had been asked about transgender gun rights just before the shooting. The event at UVU had been met with divided opinions on campus. An online petition calling for university administrators to bar Kirk from appearing received nearly 1,000 signatures. The university issued a statement last week citing First Amendment rights and affirming its commitment to free speech, intellectual inquiry, and constructive dialogue. A witness at the scene told Nexstar's KTVX that the shooting appeared targeted. We all heard a shooting like a big bang. We thought it was confetti. Then everyone started ducking down, and then I look over at Charlie Kirk and I see blood coming from his neck, UVU student Luke Pittman said. Former Utah Congressman Jason Chavez, a Republican who was at the event, said in an interview on Fox News Channel that he heard one shot and saw Kirk go back. It seemed like it was a close shot, he said, who seemed shaken as he spoke. He said there was a light police presence at the event and Kirk had some security but not enough. Utah is one of the safest places on the planet, he said, and so we just don't have these types of things. The UVU campus has closed for the day, official has said. And I will read you the last part of this as the last one I will read here. FBI Director Kash Patel said his agency is closely monitoring reports of the tragic shooting involving Charlie Kirk at Utah Valley University. Utah Governor Spencer Cox, Republican, wrote on X that he had been briefed about the situation and that those responsible will be held fully accountable. Senator Mike Lee of Utah also wrote that he was tracking the situation and praying for Charlie Kirk and the students gathered there. Trump has also ordered American flags to be lowered to half-staff until Sunday at sunset in honor of Kirk, the New York Times reports. And the rest of the story goes into who was turning point and who was Charlie Kirk. And there are several high-profile YouTube stars and media figures and politicians who have came out in response to this tragic situation, like Barack Obama, who said, quote, "We don't yet know what motivated the person who shot and killed Charlie Kirk, but this kind of despicable violence has no place in our democracy. Michelle and I will be praying for Charlie's family tonight, especially his wife, Erica, and their 2 young children." Another Project Liberal says, "We agree with Charlie Kirk on basically nothing, except that he deserves the right, as every human does, to speak freely without the threat of violence." Eric Kane has also said, quote, "I hate the way our culture has become. If a right-wing gunman kills someone, there is a hue and cry about the violence on the right. If a left-wing gunman kills someone, same thing. We have to remember that most people aren't killers, aren't out there resorted to violence. Demonizing and dehumanizing people we disagree with makes violence more likely, not less. We have to remember we're all humans first. Politics is making everyone crazy." And another one from Eric Kane, "Charlie Kirk has died. Gun violence and political violence are out of control. Everyone needs to condemn these acts regardless of the side." Young Turks owner Cenk Uygur went on to say, quote, "What happened to Charlie Kirk is one of the worst things that has happened in American politics. My heart goes out to his family. F whoever did this. Not only is it deeply tragic by itself, but we are now all in danger. Violence is always wrong and it's intellectual surrender." Entertainment pundit The Critical Drinker has said this, quote, "Whether you agree with him or not, Charlie Kirk is dead purely because some people didn't like what he had to say. That should outrage every single one of us." And Sean Fitzgerald, actual justice warrior, says Charlie Kirk didn't deserve this, his wife didn't deserve this, his children and his friends didn't deserve this. The price for speaking your mind about politics shouldn't be death, and those who think otherwise are so much worse than the monster they imagine Charlie to be. And if you want to put some irony into this, 4 students, including shooter, were injured at a shooting at Colorado High School in Evergreen, Colorado on the same day, about a few hours before this took place. So let's hopefully say that we're not ignoring that in any sort of way when we talk about Charlie Kirk here. So before I get into anything, let me just say that although it might not be enough to talk about the idea of guns and gun rights and gun ownership and all of this other stuff, although yeah, thoughts and prayers, yes, that is a cliche thing anymore. Sometimes it has to do from people who can't really do anything else about what kind of people own guns and stuff like that. So yeah, the mind goes to the family of Charlie Kirk and to those that were affected today by gun violence in all forms. So of course, there's no easy way to say that, especially the families and the children of those that were involved in this. As far as Charlie Kirk specifically, this issue, I agree with every single person. It doesn't matter what side you're on. I don't care if you are considered a grifter or anti-grifter, or if you're right, left wing, or whatever. Something in this has to change, and not just in the form of who is allowed to own a gun or who is not allowed to own a gun or whatever. That goes beyond this, although it seems though somebody was targeting him and they were a good shot, unfortunately. This also has to do with the rhetoric from either side. I don't care what side you're on. This issue with saying the most vitriolic things on social media, the most hateful things, and sometimes it's for the dumbest reasons. It's because you didn't like a character in the show, or you didn't like the direction anybody take. I mean, I know that I get passionate through my commentary. I try not to say heated things or inflammatory things. I try to be as civil as possible, at least on here. but I know that there are people on Reddit, on X, on Blue Sky, and even on Truth Social, and on, especially on Reddit and on Blue Sky right now, who have taken upon themselves to think that they are allowed to say whatever they want, and to hell with who is hurt by it or who is affected by it. I covered earlier today somebody who playing Hogwarts Legacy on their stream, and what happens. A few people on social media decides that it is their obligation to level hateful and inflammatory rhetoric simply for the fact that they believe something about the person who owns the IP that game is based upon. You can see on some of the subreddits, on Salty Earth and Crate, on Gaming Circle Jerk, on some of these other subreddits on the right and the left, on some places on social media. I saw on Salty Earth and Crate that somebody says that a YouTuber needs the quote-unquote Luigi treatment because they didn't agree with some person's take about the Ironheart TV show. That is about a television show. Imagine what these people think about a political figure, somebody who is a commentator, a pundit, somebody who is involved in public service. What made this person think that this person, Charlie Kirk, deserved that? What was going through this guy's mind, or woman's mind, or their mind, that they saw something on the internet, on social media, whatever, and they thought that they had the obligation to take a gun and consciously take a gun, go to this event and saying, I'm going to make the world a better place in his own mind, in his own warped mind, by offing a person who thought that he was safe and thought that, okay, even though no one that I would know would agree with the guy, but he was exercising his free speech First Amendment rights. And someone thought that it was a great idea on this day to take a gun and shoot him in the neck to where blood was spurting out like a fountain. Who thinks that? Something in our discourse is messed up beyond belief. And unfortunately, I don't have the answers of how to fix it. Because for every person that thinks they can fix it, there are 5 people or 10 people that are willing to undo the fixing that you're trying to do. How long did it take for X to do something about airbag after loads and loads and loads of those sledgehammer gifts that he was doing? And it took one other thing in order for them to say enough was enough. And he's still posting on several different accounts. And I know it sounds like I'm singling some people out, and I don't mean to, but something here has got to change. Somebody has got to say, you know what? As much as I don't like what this person has said, it doesn't merit that kind of response, that kind of vitriolic response. Okay, so somebody didn't like Ironheart. It doesn't mean that you have to go kill the guy over it. Or somebody didn't like a game. That doesn't mean you have to harass them off the internet. Or they did like a game. That doesn't mean you have to think that they are worthy of being killed over it. Where did we get to that point? How did we get to that point? And like I said, I'm saying this about the video game entertainment world. People willing to go to this far over that. Imagine what they're going through with politics, with things that will affect people in the long run. Imagine if they're going to go that far over a game or a TV show, imagine how far they're willing to go over actual politics that will affect them for the rest of their lives. Games will get memory hold at some point in time. Politics and what people do as a direct result of that is going to affect other people in future generations. Not saying that games won't affect some people over generations. They will remember if a good game was good or not. And I know I'm rambling at this point, but it just feels like some people will still not understand that there is another person on the other side of that screen, of that computer screen. And you don't know how your words are going to affect somebody else. That one person may be joking about somebody needing the Luigi treatment. And then somebody will say, oh, well, somebody really does need it. And they'll go to the doxing or the swatting or whatever else they feel is necessary. Maybe this is a watershed moment. This is something that gets us to wake up. But I'm doubting that the people that need to wake up won't wake up. They feel like that they like that dream, or they are doing the right thing by going on these subreddits or going on to the social media accounts and just spewing whatever garbage that comes out of their mouths that day towards somebody else. And we have to express that anger that we have, and we don't understand when it's good to just not say anything. It's better to not say the thing, to know what it means us to fight or flight. And we have that mixed up. We have that messed up as to when it's good to just not say anything and like, hey, wait a minute, you know what? Something in this is not right. Maybe I need to seek some guidance, some help. Something needs to change in my own mind. Because in this guy's mind, whoever did this, and as of the recording of this video, we don't know yet, he thought he was doing the right thing. That's the scariest thing about this, that he thought he was doing the right thing. You can't convince somebody doing the wrong thing if they are convinced that they are doing the right thing, that they are doing a service, and if they're being told they are doing a good service to for people. If they silence forever that person. A man who leaves behind a wife and 2 kids of incredibly young age is gone from this world because somebody couldn't find enough willpower to walk away. That's what it came down to. And this guy had to have known what he was doing because he was an incredibly good shot. I saw the videos of this. I saw what happened to the poor guy. And he knew exactly how to hit, when to shoot, the trajectory of how he needed to shoot, how he needed to have a good shot, and to not have anyone know he was there when he was planning anything, and to get the gun in there. How do you do that? How does that happen? How did this happen to where we have gotten so bad that even at this point, some people will not wake up and will say that this was the correct thing to do? So yeah, I think I'm preaching to the choir when I say this, but I can only offer thoughts and prayers to the families and the victims that were affected by not only the Charlie Kirk thing, but the school shooting happened a few hours before this. And here's the worst thing about it. The day that this occurred, 9/10. What is the next day the anniversary of? We gotta become better, or else this is going to continue, and who knows where it ends up. So those are my thoughts. Please leave your thoughts down below. Please stay safe, and please stay true to mental health, because, we need that right now. Definitely need to be told that right now. I'll see you next time, and as always, to be continued.